Good morning, Sunday 12th of November. I hope you've by now seen some of the Tosai videos we've made and the video of the fish we made yesterday in the river. Today we're going to take some pictures and video of some nisai. This is nisai. And for those fish that are in the river, hopefully some of these fish we pull out now and put on this video will be fish that in a couple of years time will then be featuring in videos of the river. Because that's obviously what the dream is, and that's the hope for the future, is that these nisai then become good enough to go into the river at a later date. So once we have some fish in a bowl, we'll have a closer look at them and talk about them a little bit. So yesterday we pulled up, if you saw the video of the fish from the river, a gorgeous yonsai Kohaku, which I first encountered here at Purdin just under 2 years ago as a nisai. This year's number one nisai. Would you agree, Bill? This year's number one nisai?
Number one nisai this year, yeah.
Last year wasn't a...
It was a lean year for Kohaku.
Yeah, as Bill says, lean year for Kohaku. But this is quite beautiful, and if I look at her, I don't think she's that much dissimilar to how that yonsai looked 2 years ago. And we keep talking about benny thickness, and this is another example of a fish where at the moment, yeah, the benny is not thick, but as we've shown on previous videos and talked about, when Scott talked yesterday about koi finishing on the video that we made, and if you haven't seen it yet, please do go and check it out, because I think it's a very interesting conversation we had with Scott. This is an example of that kind of benny, and it's in warm water. It's always been in warm water. It's growing pretty quickly. I'm not sure I said this is 47 centimeters. It was very small tosai last year. I think I posted this last year at 20 centimeters this time last year, so it wasn't a big tosai, but it was certainly a very pretty tosai, and I think she's a very pretty nisai too. So we'll pop her back and move on to the next koi. So another Kohaku, this one 44 centimeters. She's not as well behaved nor as elegant as the first one we looked at, but still some very nice characteristics about her. Kind of pattern that's going to look much nicer when she becomes a big fish. When I say that, what I mean, what I refer to, is this white pattern that we see on the side here. And once the body fills, that white pattern will start to become more apparent when you see her swimming. So now it appears very much under the body, but those white peaks in the pattern there will start to ride up on the side of the fish a little bit and become more obvious, and stop that red line, or one red side looking so full as it does now. Anyway, we'll pop this one back, and Bill's just bringing us something else. This Layer Sanke, 54 centimeters. Probably my favourite nisai from last year. Now already sold, purchased by a customer last week at the harvest weekend. I think it's going to be an absolutely stunning koi once this sumi comes out. And I've got to say, in the space of a week, this sumi has really started to thicken, and I'm sure when that customer sees this fish, they'll be happy and certainly agree that that's the case. This sumi on the shoulder here really starting to thicken up now. She's come in and the water temperatures have started to drop down from the summer temperatures. Still pretty warm in here, but
still 21 degrees.
So water's, Bill tells me the water's still 21 degrees, but as this is a customer's koi and it's started to jump, it goes one way and that's back to the pond. So beautiful fish. Here we have another Sanke, purchased by exactly the same customer as the previous one last weekend. This was a Sanke which in the summer I wrote about on either Facebook or nishigoi.life, and in the mud pond, or in the concrete grow out pond, felt it was possibly my number one Sanke. Once we got them, once they were harvested and came inside, I kind of deferred my allegiance to the previous one we just had in the bowl. I don't know why, just I felt like the way the pattern on the fish flowed was really attractive on the other one, and the way that sumi was going to come out. And as Scott just said to me after we'd finished filming the previous one, that must be the kind of Sanke that I absolutely love with that sumi, and absolutely it was. But another beautiful fish. This one's slightly bigger than the previous one, 57 centimeters. So they're both staying here until next year, I think, and I think the customer will be extremely happy with how they're going to develop over the coming 12 months. But again, customer's fish looking a bit too lively for my liking, so we'll get Bill to pop her back and have a look at something else. Again, so another Sanke, 55 centimeters. Interesting how since these are come inside cooler water, concrete pond, although they're in concrete pond when they were growing outside as well, but much warmer, sumi is really starting to blossom on these fish. Lovely delicate skin quality. So this is one that, if you like it, something you'd fancy owning, then Bill tells me this one's for sale. This is a Sanke that was actually purchased last year by a customer at the harvest weekend. Now 54 centimeters, left it here to grow over the course of the summer in the grow out pond outside, and I think it's done really well. I think it's going to look absolutely stunning when that sumi comes out on the shoulder and fills in that little white gap on the left hand side, depending which way you're looking at it. Lovely fish. So I know the customer's very happy with the result they got. Speaking to him, they were here again last weekend. But it's looking a bit jumpy as all of them are. So I think it's just the customer's leaving it here for another year to grow further. So hopefully it'll push through the 60 centimeters plus as Sansai next year. So there we go. Bill will pop it back now. This is a Showa that, if you followed the blog and whatever else, I'm sure you'll recognize. My number one Tosai last year was still my number one nisai this year. Absolutely love it. Gorgeous fish. So much more for her to do. But I have no doubt this sumi is going to come really beautiful, knowing the bloodline she comes from. Now 51 centimeters. Need to check the records what she was last year. I would guess around 25 this time last year, maybe smaller. But absolutely gorgeous. I think the next one we pull out will probably be the one that now rivals this as my number one. But loyalty being what it is. Stunning. This Showa is one that I have no recollection of whatsoever. Last year when we went through all the Tosai. This year, as you may have seen, I posted already. Did I not have allegiances and loyalties to the previous show we just looked at? This one would now be my number one Showa here. I think it's just beautiful. I love the way, you know, I love Kindai style Showa. Lots of white ground for the sumi to fall on, and I love the places that the sumi is falling on this fish. There on the shoulder, then as we come back down the fish, you know, very light benny pattern, but the beauty is that the sumi doesn't really fall on it too much. The sumi is all falling on the white, which is I post all the time and write about all the time. For me, is so important. So I think this is going to be an absolutely gorgeous fish to watch over the coming years as she develops. A fish that's not leaving Purdin Koi Farm anytime soon, despite the fact that several have inquired about her and her availability. Not a fish that Bill and Scott are gonna let go just yet. So there we are. Pop her back in the pond, and it's maybe the last fish we look at for the moment on the video. So I lied when I said that we'd finished filming Showa, because this one's just been pulled out by Bill. This was one that was in my sort of top 17 Tosai last year. It was actually purchased as Tosai by Sunnybank Koi in the UK, Purdin's UK agents, and left here to grow. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. Many, many beautiful points about this fish. Starting from the front, I always, you know, black nose on the front of a Showa is lovely. Thick, deep Modagura on the fins. Then as we come back down the body, if she stops looking like she's going to jump, we come back down the body, that break at the dorsal fin where our sumi is going to come up and fill in that space, absolutely beautiful. So this is going to be a really nice fish. What size was she, Bill? 50. 51 centimeters. So nisai. Lots of indications that this sumi is going to come thick and black and beautiful. One being the Modagura on the fins. Then if we look at the what looks like slightly patchy grey sumi at the moment, but we can see amongst those patchy grey scales, some of the scales have this black base on them, like on the side here, an indicator that this sumi is going to come in the fullness of time. Not today, not tomorrow, maybe not next year, but
not even the year after.
And as we keep saying, and as we said yesterday on the video, and keep talking about, it's about the journey. There's no need to rush these fish. These are fish that you want to develop over 5, 6 years, 7 years, even more, and let them become beautiful in the fullness of time. I think this is a show that's going to come very beautiful. As to whether Sunnybank ship it, leave it, who knows at the moment, but beautiful. I mentioned on yesterday's video that Bill would happily only breed Kohaku, but he has a little bit of a thing for Shiro Utsuri as well. As well as the main spawnings of Layer Sanke. As you've seen, there's quite a few Goshiki around, and every year So either Goshiki spawnings or occasional Shiro Utsuri spawnings. So this is nisai. What size was she, Bill? 51 centimeter nisai Shiro Utsuri. Strictly not for sale. Fish that Bill wants to keep as a future parent fish for the McGurk Shiro Utsuri line. But many Shiro Utsuri have a sort of saggy belly, shall we say. But this one at the moment certainly has a nice tight body shape, body line. Very beautiful face. And when this sumi all thickens up, it's going to be a very imposing fish for sure. I just love that blue-grey sumi look that you get on Shiro Utsuri and Showa. Promise of sumi to come. If you've seen some of the Tosai videos that we've done over the last few days, you've seen Ginrin Goshiki. This also is Ginrin Goshiki. Obviously looks like Ginrin Kohaku right now. You can just see on the shoulder line there, I hope you can see it on the video, there's just a slight blue tinge, suggestion of a Goshiki heritage, and hopefully the blue background that's going to come out and fill in this absolutely stunning currently white ground. What she does have is a very beautiful pattern, super interesting, super exciting pattern, and Ginrin, as you've seen also on some of the Tosai this year, these Ginrin Goshiki, which come from Koda bloodline, which for me is perhaps one of the very, very best Ginrin you can find anywhere. This Ginrin is simply, as I hope you can appreciate on the video, simply quite stunning. So this is a fish which we're just talking about, and I don't know, maybe the kind of fish that if you tried to sell it, nobody would want to take the chance on whether it becomes Goshiki, stays white, who knows. So therefore, kind of fish that we're talking about will probably stay here, and we'll see what can be done with it as a parent fish. Maybe try putting her with, you know, some of the male Goshikis here that we have with a darker pattern, or put her in with Kohaku, see what comes out from that spawning some males. So I suspect you may see this fish over the next, in a couple of years time, as a parent fish here at Purdin. And I keep talking about journeys, and this is a fish which, okay, we'll go on a journey with her and see what transpires and see how she develops and turns out over the coming few years. But for now, really quite a very beautiful fish. Like the previous one, another Ginrin Goshiki, which at present has no grey background, looking very much like Kohaku. And as with the previous one, Ginrin is really quite beautiful. Another fish we'll see how she develops. Very exciting to see how this all pans out with regards to the Ginrin Goshiki here, and some of them are incredibly dark, as you've seen on the video, and then occasionally ones like this throw up. This is one that was photographed as Tosai last year, and I need to look back at the picture, but I don't recall. I think last year she looked very much like Kohaku as well, but time will tell as to how she develops.